We're on our way to Mount Park Guest Farm. It's a little spot just outside of Howick. We're going to spend the night there. Just a small, quick little weekend getaway. The usual crew is with us, so we're going to show you around and chat about a few things. This stretch of road here on the N3, just before the Linfield Park turnoff, is really lousy. Honestly, the trucks don't obey. I mean, there's a big sign there saying trucks can't overtake trucks, but they just carry on and do what they want. Causes so much congestion. We're about to pass my old man with his caravan. We got this about a year ago now. It's just, you know, once you've got a family, a rooftop tent is just not a viable option anymore. So the Alucab Canopy Camper was great when, you know, he goes on a solo trip or it's a boys trip, so, you know, something like that, then it's really ideal. But when my mom comes with, my brother comes with, then the caravan is what we need. We're in the same boat with the teardrop that's behind us. If it's all three of us like we are here, then the reality is we can't, three of us, sleep in the rooftop tent. It's not comfortable. My missus and I, we can sleep in the rooftop tent, but the youngster is a little bit too small to sleep by, you know, on his own, by himself. I realize other kids his age can, but yeah, my oak won't. He's grown up with us. We've kind of never really forced the independence issue. It'll come when it comes. He's happy to do certain things, he's not happy to do other things. So the teardrop worked for us, and now the rooftop tent in my van is where I sleep, and then Marcel and Alex sleep in the trailer. If I go by myself, I sleep in the rooftop tent and there's no trailer. It's the same with the caravan. That caravan's large though. We looked at something like that, a slightly smaller one, but I can't justify pulling 1.3 to 1.6 tons behind me. I could not, if I can get away with a 700 kilo teardrop trailer. So to get to the spot, Mount Park Guest Farm, you jump on the N3, you head up past Maritzburg, past Howick, more or less towards Howick, and you jump off at this junction 107, the Tweedy off ramp, and then you're going to essentially turn back in towards Midmar Dam, which is basically on that side. You get to the R103 and you turn right, and then you kind of just stay on the R103 for a few Ks, and I'm assuming we're going to get there soon, because the GPS reckons another 30 minutes, so I'll check where it takes us. But yeah, this spot, friends of ours found it. They're also joining us a little bit later. It's 130 bucks for an adult, and it's 65 rand for a child per night. The campsites are electrified. What else do they have? I think they've got a swimming pool, play area for the kids. The website said something about an animal farm, lots of hiking trails, bit of fishing. So it is a commercial campsite. It is not a wild and adventurous site, just something different for us to go and check out and hopefully share it with you guys. On this lovely little dirt road, really nice road, so pretty out here. Okay, so you'll get to this sign here eventually that tells you turn left for Mount Park. How's it, Bali? And we're off. Eventually you're going to get to this road here, and this is the entrance to Mount Park. So we're here. First impressions, not great, but let's just wait and see. We were told it's very quiet. The place is actually packed, but that's my off-grid little nature coming out. I don't like people, so let's go and have a look. So we've kind of just taken over here, a little bit of a squatter camp. So we've got Rob with the Bundu top set up. Here's our teardrop. There's the Bali's cruiser with the Alucab canopy camper with their caravan. Here's my little penthouse here. So you've just taken over this whole campsite underneath this beautiful tree.
Pig's coming too.
I will, and fast. It's all stood on a chicken.
So this is what I'm assuming is their main dam, I think, where you can fish. We've seen fish in the water here. Bedtime now. It is what's that, 10 to 10 give or take. Chilling here. Check the temperature quickly. Check that out. It's 8 degrees. How cool is this little thing here though? This is a oh, the wrong one. DC power distribution block from my buddy at Venture X, Rob. I can plug all my stuff in here. It's got a light, read out of the battery, temperature and voltage, as well as the amount of watts I'm drawing. So when I want to charge my phone, I grab my cable and I just have to plug it in, and the bottom is a quick charge USB-C, so I can't do it with one hand really, but that goes in there, and then I plug it into my phone and you can see it starts telling me how many watts I'm using to just charge my phone, and that's that. Easy. I've also got, so when I want to put this light off, for example, off, we'll put this chap here off. I've got my ambience lights, which work with a remote. I can adjust the color, for example, as such, or any of the other colors that I pretty much feel like, really. So the remote is unfortunately quite sensitive, so it's got to be in the right place, which is that angle there. So there's blue, green, red. I can set it to go like this now, and it'll just run through all the colors, which is not something I'll ever really do. For me personally, I just leave it on the red, and that's kind of how it stays. It doesn't provide a hell of a lot of light, so if I do want more light, I put this one here on, which gives me ample light throughout the whole tent. I've got more lights in the top of the ceiling there, but I never use them. Here is my rooftop tent. I'm busy making the bed, so it can dry out and pack up. My pillows. This is the front cover, the canvas cover for inside. There's an outside one as well. Each window has a cover, as well as the one behind me where the ladder goes. I run a 12-volt fan in here, which gets power from here. There's an Anderson plug and a power point, as well as another set on this side. My storage pouches. It's got a nice big drop down table. It's got two more little tables on each side. I changed out the lights that it came with. I didn't like them, so now I have the option of a red light or a white light here. I've got another light that I bought into the roof here, which is just red. I need to put it onto a switch. At the moment it just plugs in with a little DC cable I've got there. That's pretty much the tent. Yeah, so that is the inside of this tent. And the nice thing is, obviously, it's a full-size tent, so my bedding, as you see, stays inside. I've got a little power box that I use instead of the supplied stuff. I like this much more. My extension cord, and that is what powers my electric blanket, so I sleep comfortably, and that gets power from my inverter inside the vehicle off of my 200 amp hour battery. Yeah, and that's the end of our little overnight stop here at Mount Park. Not a terrible place, very commercial. Looks like it's more of a hiking spot than anything else. Campsites aren't bad, there's power, clean ablutions. The convenience of electricity, gas powered ablutions, nice showers, flushing toilets, you know, all the other bits and bobs. It's a cool place to come for 130 bucks a person a night. Would I come back here in a hurry? Probably not. It's just not really my style of camping. I prefer the slightly more off-grid campsites. We've got kids, my friends have got kids. Our kids are outside kids, and outside kids mean the volume of their voices is loud. So I always feel a little bit awkward, you know, with other campers. There were a lot of elder campers here, guys that may be retired. So I suppose they've, you know, their kids are all grown up. They don't really want to be surrounded by loud, laughing, shouting children. So you do sometimes feel a little bit awkward. Well, at least I do. I've got a conscience. So, you know, and then I discipline my child my way. And in modern times, I suppose, it's frowned upon disciplining children the way we were disciplined when we were growing up. And I don't like to get into those sort of confrontations, because people out there think it's okay to come and tell other people how to do things, and it doesn't work for me. Don't come and tell me how to discipline my child, because I'm going to end up disciplining you as well. But yeah, I wouldn't rush back here. I certainly would recommend it to anybody wanting to camp and have a bit of fun, that's not set up as yet for proper off-grid camping. But I definitely don't think it's the spot to come to if you want that wild sort of camping experience. So one thing I wanted to mention was, like last night with the sleeping arrangements and the setup that we've got, we obviously have electric blankets in both our sleep setups, the rooftop tent as well as the trailer. And what that allows is, despite the cold, we are able to sleep comfortably. Now, a lot of people will have a varied opinion on electric blankets and camping. It's obviously not a possibility for everybody due to the setup required to run an electric blanket off-grid. Obviously, to run a electric blanket, you need to then make the decision to go 12 volt or 220 volt. Now, like my wife and I, we've tried the 12 volt blankets. The brand we used was called Auto Gear. At the time we bought them, I think we got them for about 600-700 rand a blanket. It comes with a generic 12 volt socket, like a cigarette socket type plug, and then a high, medium and low switch. On high, it pulled very similar amperage to what a 60 watt 220 volt electric blanket uses, with the inverter's draw as well. The difference was that we found that the 12 volt blanket wasn't as efficient in maintaining the heat as a 220 volt blanket is. So we'd need to run the 12 volt blanket on high pretty much the whole night to have it keep us warm. Whereas the 220 volt blanket, we find that by 2 or 3 hours into the, you know, our sleep, I would wake up and I'd be hot, and I'd switch it from high to low or even off, and then you'd only really wake up again in the very early hours of the morning. I find between 3 and 5:30 when it's that icy cold, and then I'd switch it back on to 1 or 2, and with our residual body heat underneath the sleeping bags and the duvets, etc., it warms you up quickly, no stress. So for us, definitely we're a huge fan of an electric blanket. We've got an inverter. You don't need a big inverter. Most electric blankets, double queen, are at the most like 150 watts. I've got a single size electric blanket in my rooftop tent because I don't need the entire mattress in the tent to be heated, because I don't use the entire mattress when I sleep. I kind of sleep on one side, and then I keep my pants and my other gear inside the tent on the other side. And that single blanket is only 60 watts, whereas the double inside the trailer is 100 watts. So it works well for us. We're really happy with that setup. And like I showed on my Instagram, the amp draw I used, the fridge was on, the lights were on, the inverter was on, I charged my phone, I run a fan in my rooftop tent as well, because I like the air to circulate, especially with the electric blanket. Condensation is a real problem in winter, and if I leave the flaps of the tent all around partially open, with the fan on inside, I have no condensation inside my tent, none whatsoever. So there's that aspect, and I'm also very used to that background white noise. So once you've eliminated the possibility of condensation, then you've essentially tackled one of the bigger issues that you have with using electric blankets. But we are on our way home, and if you have made it this far in the video, as usual, thank you very much, and like I see you on the next one.